Here's some of the worst of it.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. Yeah, you're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
Look, since Russia's invasion, we've spoken many times with Ukrainian MP Halyna Yanchenko. She's joining us again now live from Kiev. Thanks for joining us, Halyna. Good to talk to you. I'm so keen to get your response and a sense of the response in Ukraine to those astonishing words from President Donald Trump and, of course, his Vice President, J.D. Vance.
Well, what should I say? The only thing that I can say is that there is no country that wants the end of the war as much as Ukrainians, because we live under constant shelling on a daily basis, or actually it happens at night. Russia is shelling our country. Russia is killing our civilians. They're torturing our prisoners of war. They are actually breaking all international legislation and even traditions of war. So there is no one who wants the end of this war as much as Ukrainians. But what we really want is the end, the real end. The real end might be only fair and lasting. If it's just a pause, which we've seen before, because let me remind you that the war did not start in 2022. It started in 2014. And President Zelensky, when he was elected, he did everything to finish this war. He was participating in a dozen of negotiations. Russia would break all of those. That is why we understood that fake peace deals without security guarantees, without making sure that our allies will be with us if Russia attacks us again, all these kind of talks worth nothing. They don't worth paper they are printed on. And that's why President Zelensky, as well as all Ukrainians, we insist on security guarantees. That is why he was continuing saying that all negotiations, all deals should be accompanied with security guarantees. Only these kind of things will ensure that the peace will be lasting and fair. This is what we want. This is what Europeans want, because they understand that European countries are also under danger, because this is basically...
Your President, Volodymyr Zelensky, was at pains to point out the history, of course, that, Crimea was annexed by Russia under Barack Obama, and then there was no clawback on that during Donald Trump's first presidency. It certainly didn't get worse, but then when Biden came in, Russia invaded completely. When Donald Trump says he's trying to get a deal, is there anything that Ukraine would give up in a deal? For instance, would you relinquish Crimea or parts of the Donbass? Is there any suggestion from Ukraine that you would give up any territory? Otherwise, what sort of a deal is Donald Trump going to do?
Well, officially, it's obvious that we can't recognize that these territories of Ukraine will officially become part of Russia. But for us, it's also quite obvious that we can't return them right now. And the best way to return them is to actually apply some political or diplomatic tools. This is quite clear, and this can be a part of the compromise. But also, on another hand, we want to make sure that Russia will not attack us again, that Russia will not invade us again, because what is important, not only the fact that they keep invading their neighbors like Georgia before Ukraine, or like Chechnya or Moldova, but they actually use population in the occupied territory to occupy basically the next neighbor. So when the full-scale invasion in Ukraine started, and we were capturing some people who were acting as occupants, we realized that part of them were actually Ukrainians from the occupied territories, which were occupied 8 years before full-scale invasion. And this is we also had a lot of warriors from Chechnya in Ukraine. So this is why also Europe worries so much, because they understand if Russia will keep occupying Ukrainian territories or keep the territories that they already occupied, they will simply use those Ukrainians to invade other countries and kill other nations. And no one wants it. No one's wants this destabilization and feeling of insecurity in Europe.
Thanks for speaking with us again, Halyna. I appreciate it.